Welcome to the DJNTV Chill Room Chat, your space to unwind and talk shop. This episode is sponsored by MadeByDJs.com, innovative tools designed specifically by DJs for DJs. DJEventPlanner.com, the industry standard for streamlining your business and booking faster. And DJRequests.com, the easiest way to manage your dance floor's vibe in real time. Support the show by using our Amazon affiliate link at djntv.com/Amazon. Now, let's get into the mix.
In center of attention.
I'm sorry, buddy. Were you saying something? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday, hanging out with the guys. We've got Alex from Cyprus making an early morning appearance. Buddy, west of Chicago. Jay, I don't know where he is. Torrance, Carson, something, California, and his
hotel life.
Yeah. Matthew in the Twin Cities. We got Eric somewhere in Woolman, Mass. Very proud of that.
Oh,
He flies the flag outside of his house. And Damon in Dearborn. I wanted to try something different tonight. Instead of picking a topic that I pick and we rap on it for a half hour, 45 minutes, I thought it would be fun to do little short topics where we all pick them and we all go around the room and ask other people's opinions on them. And I'll kick it off and see how this goes. When it comes to communicating with potential clients, I found that a lot of times I end up text messaging with them. It's not a phone call. It's a text message situation. And one of the first questions they always ask is, how much? So I wanted to ask the room how they're handling this question via text. Does anybody have anything they'd like to contribute on this? I take that as a no. Buddy.
I think it's a matter of opening the door. And I was told years ago that you respond to people the way they talk to you. If they give you one line, you give them one line because that's their preferred method. So, and I've had people blatantly just say, hey, Jay, this is Sally. How much for like a wedding? I'm like, hey, Sally, when? And you get into a dialogue. And if you can ask, once you get them answering you, now you kind of hit them with 2 or 3 questions. And I've then suggested this would be so much easier with a phone call. Is it cool if I call you? Yeah. Because it is. It's very, I can't think of anything that I could buy on text.
You're right.
Like you're selling a Suburban. How much? What year is it? What shape is it? How many miles does it have? What color? Like there's so much information. And I think it's telling you that they don't understand what we do. So therefore it's an opportunity to educate them in what's needed to know before choosing a professional DJ. It's because if it's only about price, I can safely say 99% of the time, you're the wrong DJ.
Buddy, you had something.
This is actually a big thing in the industry. I just was at just in a seminar with some wedding people, and this is a thing we're seeing recurring over and over and over again with the text messaging. And one of the things that they said in it, which I do, is have your prices on your website. So if I got a inquiry such as that, and they asked for, what's your price? I can send them right to my website. Most of my pricing's on there. It has packages, it has enhancements, it has stuff on there that can go through and kind of figure out. And it kind of also leaves the door open. But if that person is not my clientele, they're looking for someone who is, let's say, more less expensive than I am, then it says, okay, fine, great, no problem. This is, beyond my budget. And that way it kind of gets rid of the tire kickers. And I'm happy with that.
Anyone else got anything on this?
Going back to what Jay was saying, it's like, how much is a car? Well, which car do you want? What color
Right.
do you want? Because different colors, when you're buying a brand new car, if you want metallic gray, it's more expensive than red. You know, it's
Custom
always the
order is
way.
more
So
expensive.
yeah, you know, you have to ask them questions like, when is it? Because if you're already booked, that's it. Conversation's finished.
Right.
There's no point I'm not going to spend 25 minutes having a text message conversation on Messenger or emails, only to find out that I'm already booked for their day. So, when people say, how much is it? How much are you to DJ? It's like, well, where is it? When is it? Because those are two major factors of whether I can work it and how much it's going to be. Because if it's 150 miles away, it's going to be more than if it is 5 miles down the road.
I want to add something to what I said and what Alex said and even what Buddy said. And this is something to be cautious of because this happened to me last month. Let's say it's just a party and it's a friend or an acquaintance, someone you have history with, they're a neighbor, your kids play, whatever. And they say, hey, on this date, how much for this party? The question that I didn't ask that I should have was, oh, hey, great to hear from you. Are you having the party? Question mark. To which they would immediately say
For
yes
who?
or no,
For who?
because I gave a price.
Yeah.
And once I gave it, this person came back with, oh, awesome. Let me contact my friend. She's having the party. Well, her friend would have paid probably $200 more
Mhm.
and been happy to in her $1.7 million house.
Right. Right.
But I gave a quote to what I thought was, so I guess it's the clarity that doesn't always come with the question. If I asked Brian via text, hey, Brian, how much are you for 4 hours for a wedding? Brian's probably immediately thinking it's a friend of Jay's or it's someone in Chicago he knows or something. If I normally say 1,000, maybe for Jay, I say 800. And then I say, let me send them your way.
Mhm.
That's unfair to Brian because I've already started this with a relationship and then money gets involved. So even though it sounds weird to say this, I think future, it's always going to be, hey, so great to hear from you. Are you having the party or is someone else? Question mark.
Sure.
Oh, my neighbor
Clarification.
wants to hire a DJ. Great. Tell your neighbor it's this much.
So
And because they know you, it's, this much or whatever. Just
yeah,
edification.
I'll offer this, and I'll just tell you my thought process. I've been asking this question. I've been getting mad leads this week from other companies, so I know the date. I can text somebody and say, "Hey, look, I'm Brian. I'm available on your date. I know where it is. Happy to do it for you. How can I help?" First question they come back with is, well, yeah, great. Well, how much? And I think the first thing, like Buddy had said, even if you list the pricing on your website clear and concisely, I think the how much question stems from some people not knowing what to ask. So they open the dialogue with that question. It's not necessarily as much of a price inquiry as it is, I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to ask this question. And I think we all do the same thing. If we needed a root canal, our first question would be, oh man, how much is this going to cost me? We all do it. We're not asking details of, well, how is this done? What else needs to be done? It's just straight to the money. So here's how I'm handling this question via text message. And I'll do the same thing if I'm talking to them over the phone. I will give them a price range. I will tell them I started 1,200. I've gone 2,500 plus. Most people land somewhere in the middle. To give you a more accurate quote, I'm going to need to get a complete scope of work and figure out what your wants and needs are. So when can we talk? That's how I handle the question. And it seems to satisfy them. That way I've weeded it out if I'm out of their price range and they kind of know what they're in for. They understand the more they want, the more it's going to cost. So if we want to save money, how about we pile on weird stuff and we just get our essentials? That's how I handle it.
But it's interesting that you use the root canal metaphor because I don't think you're far off. I think the difference between a qualified great dentist doing a root canal and having you have a pain-free experience is worth the extra few bucks than
I agree.
having the guy
I've
that
paid
just got
up.
out of dental school who's like, hey man,
Yeah.
we're doing a check down here
Yes.
at the school.
Oh, I've paid up very recently just to get it done right now because I was in so much pain.
Right.
But
And
even
I
when you
have
go
too.
into the office, they don't tell you, oh yeah, it's going to be nice and like a spa and blah blah blah. The first thing they talk about is money.
Yeah.
Even when you walk into that office, that's the first thing they talk about before they talk about anything else. So,
Right.
and
But
it
that
could
industry
be,
works off insurance. So they're starting at we normally do this because that's what the insurance will pay us, and then we expect this person to. With us, it's so wild, wild west, where it's like, there's a qualified DJ this Saturday night who's going to do a good job for $600 is doing the same wedding I'm doing, and I'm charging 1,800.
yeah.
So the
Well,
discrepancies don't always lead to a qualified outcome.
it could be. It could
But
be. But
I think we
yeah,
all understand the Cadillac Escalade costs more than the Suburban.
I'm finding that this satisfies the folks that because I've gotten multiple leads this week, and that approach has satisfied that question. And by the way, I have several phone meetings scheduled for tomorrow, which is odd having a phone meeting. We just call, but now they want to schedule time for it. That's another video. But yeah, I have several tomorrow. So I'm going to be in the house tomorrow in the office waiting for the phone to ring at certain particular times or making calls at certain particular times, having conference calls with these folks and trying to go over all of this. But yeah, I mean, there's several questions they ask, but that's the first question, and that's how I've been handling it. So I throw it out there for anybody
But I
who's
agree,
watching.
they don't know what they're asking.
They don't know what they ask. So
They don't even know what asking what it costs means. What if you said it's $50?
right.
Right. And they said, oh, everyone else is like $2,000. This guy's 50. They'd run scared. You would hope.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're going to find something lower than you who's probably going to do a decent job. So I think
Maybe.
what I miss pre-COVID is the relationships you built in person at Starbucks or other locations.
Yeah.
Because they realized it doesn't matter what it costs. We're hiring this person we trust. I think.
Well, you would
trust.
hope that's what their thought process would be, but they have to start somewhere.
But once you educate them in a meeting,
Yeah.
that's when they can make a more qualified decision where they go, no, this is absolutely what we want. That's fine. Don't worry about the money. Versus, talk about ridiculous. I get more scam texts like, did you get home okay? Who the hell is this? Or what are you doing? Hitting spam, delete,
Are you coming to the barbecue Saturday? I got one of those last week, by the way.
Yeah. No, that's a
And
new
it's like,
that's a
yeah.
new scam thing.
Does anybody
But
else have any other
I
topics they'd like to bring up?
I will entertain a text when it comes to Elite, but that's how I filter out, like what Jay just said, spam, and I actually have fun with them because I got nothing better to do,
I'm
yeah,
I'm actually
right.
the leads that I've had, I've started all these text threads. So I've gotten their number, their information, and I've texted them first. So I got the lead. I am sending this out.
Okay,
So it's
but
not like
you like
they're not
a
reaching out
phone
to me.
call. Why would you send a text? I'm just curious. Just
I don't want to
to
catch
see.
anybody at a bad time, and a lot of
Okay,
people
yeah,
are
I get
afraid of the
that.
phone. I mean, quite frankly, if we're gonna talk about this the whole show, that's fine too. But a lot of people are afraid of the
No.
phone, and it's a thing. They don't answer the phone. There's a generation out there who would rather text and email, and the thought of talking to somebody on the phone causes them anxiety.
I'm one of them.
Just don't answer it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd
Because they're
rather
afraid they'll
text.
probably get on the phone for like an hour or something like that, which they really don't want. Right?
Yeah. Or I don't know, they're not used to it. I'm
Yeah.
used to talking on the phone because I've had to do it. I had to do it until texting became a big thing. If I needed to talk to somebody who I wasn't going to be right in front of, it was a phone call. And it wasn't a big deal. And I can handle things really easily. Go ahead, Jim.
This was tonight's meeting before this phone call.
Oh,
And it's literally, this was the answers they gave me to everything I needed was playlists in Spotify.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we
That's
already picked
all
that.
in a text. Yeah.
This is all tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, do you know where I'm set up? And they sent me a photo to show me that I'm in the corner between those tables to the dance floor.
Yeah.
Like
they
it was,
got their
all this was
stuff
done
together.
via text.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked, we spoke on the phone. I sent them an email with their timeline as I created it. But, you know, they're probably in their early to mid 20s.
Mhm.
And the benefit they have is they've seen me DJ 10 weddings at a venue. So they're not worried about anything. I
They
was
already
like,
know. Yeah, they're sold on you.
they're fine.
They
on
know
me.
just
But it's a matter of just, I'm trying to tweak the music and let them know that we can go in any direction they want. And the second they started falling back on, oh, well, I remember this wedding, you did this thing and we liked that, but we didn't like this. And we didn't, I'm like, great. That's what I want. That's what I need to know is what, you know, how you want this to flow. And I was amazed at how chill they were about the whole thing. And you realize brides and grooms are always going to be that way. They don't, the things we think are very important. I gave them 3 TBAs, dinner music, recessional, and I think their first dance. And they're like, we'll get back to you. Their wedding is in 8 days,
they don't care.
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they know and trust you. Right?
Well, that's
They
it.
don't
That's the
give- yeah.
that's the beauty of it. But sometimes the trust factor makes it harder to pull information because they're like, oh, we know you'll kill it. We know you're fine. It's like, thanks, but
read it and do it. I mean,
I would love to get a specific track.
I'm to the point now where anything that I do at an event, it's as important to me as it is to the client. If it's important to
100%.
the client, I put a lot of emphasis on it. If they don't care about it, I don't really care about it. I mean, I still want it to be successful, but I'm not freaking out about it. I'm just going to do something and it's going to be fine. So I'll ask people, do you want this? Do you want that? And there are some questions I don't ask them, like, what do you want me to play for dinner? I don't want to ask them that question because who knows what they're going to say. If they have something specific they want to hear for dinner, they're going to tell me. I had a wedding this summer where somebody wanted all hair metal bands for cocktail and dinner. That's all they wanted was,
Really?
but the rest of the wedding was like Christian contemporary. So it was really bizarre. And I was like,
That don't make
what's going
sense.
on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I find out eventually that her and her stepfather are very close. And he's our age and he's a total metalhead. And she knew that he wouldn't like any of the stuff they were playing for dancing. So she wanted to make sure that he got something that night. And so
Right.
nothing to play this music during dinner and cocktail. And I did everything from, you know, your Motley Crue and your Warrant and your Cinderella and Metallica and even some Ozzy. I even did classic rock in there. And he was so happy. But most of the time they don't have an opinion, so I just vibe it. I try to do
But
something.
do you inquire?
No, I do not. Okay, dinner music? Okay, cool. If they have an opinion on it, they'll tell me what it is. If they don't have an opinion on it, they won't say a word.
Looks like you've opened up the second topic of the night.
Well, what's that?
That would be that would be checking on categories. And one of my standards is
So today's unscientific experiment is going.
prelude before ceremony. Obviously, I need my ceremony music.
Uh-huh.
What's your recessional? And then what's the vibe for cocktail you're looking for? And what's the vibe for dinner? So I always inquire because
Yeah.
if left to my own devices, I can obviously read the crowd and do what I want. But let's say what I want to do is yacht rock because I'm looking at the age of the crowd and the makeup. But come to find out later, the bride and groom hate yacht rock and they didn't bother to tell me that.
If they had a problem with it, they'd let you know, dude.
Yeah,
No,
but that
but
wouldn't
I
be your fault.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Brian, if I don't ask the question, I don't have the answer.
yeah, you can. But
So
sometimes
for me personally, my MO has been for 30 years almost to always say, what are you looking at for cocktail? I'll take care of it if you want, but do you have anything in particular? Oh, we didn't think about that. Well, cocktail's really for the crowd. So I can either read the crowd, or if you know your crowd really well, or you have a vibe you're trying to set, you can give me dinner music. I did a wedding 6-7 years ago where I played all Buckethead. I'm probably the only DJ in the room that could have pulled that off because I know the artist, and the groom was a huge fan of his. And the bride said, he loves Buckethead. Do you know that artist? I'm like, yeah, 100%. I could totally do dinner Buckethead. And you'll see my point in a half second. Everybody watched the groom smile and give his wife hugs throughout.
Mhm.
It was because the music that I picked after getting to know them made total sense to them. And I will always die on this hill. The group isn't there for themselves, they're there for the couple. If they're smiling, listening to yacht rock or Buckethead or hip hop or whatever, if they're happy, the crowd is happy. Like, how many times have you had someone walk up to you at a good wedding and say, man, you must know the bride and groom really well. You guys known each other a long time. You're like, I've met him once. You serious? Yeah, why? Because I noticed they kept high-fiving you in the air and thumbs up, and they looked really happy, and you like they loved what you played for dinner. And I'm like, well, we talked about it, and they said they met at a Dave Matthews concert, and they loved Dead and Co, and they loved this and that, and they left it up to me to figure out what that meant, and I gave them my interpretation, and they were happy. I just think I don't want to leave any music to chance. I don't
Yeah,
want
K
someone to
Dog
give me.
agrees with you. He wants to know everything too. I don't. And the reason I don't is because I ran into too many problems where if you ask a question, you force them to answer something that they really didn't have an opinion on in the first place. And
Well,
one
they should have.
example,
It's their
no,
event, and if they're
they,
not
well, no, they
prepared,
hired you, Jay.
I
I
know, but
mean,
they
they went to
hired
your
me
Spotify
because
playlist.
right. But I should
So
have also come to them and said, "Hey, by the way, dinner's an hour and a half long. It'd be nice to play music during it."
well, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here.
Well,
I go ahead, Alex. I won't do that. I'll talk to you instead.
I was just going to say it depends on, like, is it an open or closed question? You know, do you have an opinion on any kind of opinion or choice of music that you might like during dinner? Yes or no, not really. Okay,
Yeah.
that was it then.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you can handle
rather than saying like, what kind of music would you like for dinner? Well,
Right.
now they're going to have to think. Do you
Sure.
Yeah,
have
but
an
I think
opinion on
that's
what
your
kind of
job,
music you
isn't it,
want for
Alex,
dinner?
to get
Not
them.
really. Okay, then that was easy enough.
But if they say we don't have a thought on it, I still want to give them my ideas as to, well, then I'll read the crowd and play what is appropriate. Or is there something you're really into that makes you happy? Because sometimes they'll give you an answer that they didn't think was the right answer, which is, well, we love old 50s love songs. Let me play that for dinner then. That's great because it'll make them happy, which will in turn make the crowd happy, which will in turn make a better night. I mean,
How do you
I think
handle it,
all of
buddy?
us can say we're right and still be correct.
Well, no, it's
That's
not a
the
matter of
beauty of this.
I don't want to defend
Yeah.
my position. I want to learn, and this is something that we're all going to probably have a different opinion on. I want to hear Buddy's because he works a lot, and I know he does a lot of dinner music stuff. He's there for several hours when he works.
Usually I kind of guardrail a lot of that. So I'm kind of between the two. I kind of want to know what the vibe they want, but I also want to not give them too much leeway because again, my job is to look what's going on. So I ask, is there a theme or feel you're trying to go for?
Sure.
And if there are a couple of songs you have to hear for cocktail or dinner, because sometimes you run into that. Did the wedding I just had this past Saturday, they were very big into Fallout, which I do game and I do like Fallout. So I
Yeah.
knew that 50s rock vibe, Dean Martin, a bunch of other songs from the 50s and early 60s was that vibe. So I was, given that kind of feel throughout dinner and cocktail. And that was one of the things that the groom said when he was leaving on Saturday night. Like, that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Exactly what we wanted to have for music. And that to me is a huge thing, when we go and do that. But also, again, I don't want them to pick every single song for their
Right.
cocktail because what am I doing? I'm not a glorified iPod. I want to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm listening and seeing what's happening. And if something's not working, because again, we do this every weekend and they don't. If something's not working, well, I need to have leeway to say, okay, let's pivot and do something else.
I think it's cool to use that time slot for the things that you don't know what else to do with. So, for instance, if the bride is this huge Taylor Swift fan and she wants a lot of Taylor Swift songs, and there's just a few they're going to dance to, you could dump a lot of those into cocktail and dinner. Or if the groom's into hair bands, we can dump that into dinner. Or if you're getting random requests during dinner, you're talking to people and they're asking you weird questions like, do you have any fog hat? Maybe this is the time to sneak the fog hat song by Vitamin Strings in there or something like that.
Well,
It's just
that's
kind
one
of
of
a sandbox to do stuff that maybe you weren't thinking about before the event.
that's one of the things that, I put out a area for requests. So I have a little, usually a high boy has a little sign. It has, paper. People can fill out
Uh,
requests. And again, requests are not guarantees, but Tracy will go over like the beginning part of dinner because usually cocktail people have seen it. People have gone
uh,
over there. If there's stuff I see there that people are asking for that I know is not going to translate to the dance floor, I'll throw it in there during a cocktail, and I'll get people like all excited, like, "Oh, hey!"
yeah.
And that's the thing. That's a cool thing to do. Is again, kind of songs that are too slow to fast dance to, but too fast to slow dance to,
Or maybe just
and
not
that
a
kind of
dance
vibe.
song, period, but a good song, but something that's not going to motivate you to dance. A lot of the yacht rock's like that. Um, that people aren't going to dance to it, but will enjoy hearing it, for instance. But even contemporary stuff, you're absolutely right. I mean, but that's how
I
I
think
use
it's
it.
cool when a couple is represented musically, and I
Yeah.
think it's the DJ's obligation to not only stand there with the sense of I know what to do, but also to learn and be educated by the client if they're willing to pursue the information and find out. Like I said, and I use the Dave Matthews example. Yeah, our first date was Dave Matthews, and we're really into jam bands. Say no more. I've got
Yeah.
dinner. That's all I needed to know. I
Yeah.
will take
That's
care of it.
very helpful right there.
I'm looking forward to making you happy with my choices. But other than that, I find young couples now are so blasé about cocktail and dinner. And yeah, it's very simple to say, hey, you hired me for a reason. I know what to do. Versus, guys, give me something to work with.
Well, you always want to get the client's personality as part of the
Right.
event.
You want them to be
Always.
represented.
I mean, how many times have you gotten 10 requests from a client and done? It doesn't happen. I'll ask for 10 that they have to hear, but then there's 30 other songs after that. And not all of those songs are necessarily going to be songs we're going to dance to, but it gives me an idea who they are. And I can
Well, and that's
infer.
that's a whole nother thing about the YouTube and Wedding Wire and not reviews of, you know, I told the DJ this is what we wanted to hear and he didn't play it. Or I told the DJ I didn't want to hear this and they did play it. There, I've watched over the years, there's been a consistent complaint about music and what's played and what's not played. If I've already had this discussion with the couple, and let's face it, you want other guests at the end of the night to go, I got to hire Buddy or Jay or Brian or Alex or whoever. But the reality is, you're only working for two people that night. You're not
Yeah.
working for 110.
Oh,
You're there to entertain them. You're there to do what you can in your position to have them have a good time. But the reality is, they're not going to put up a wedding wire review. They're not going to maybe run to their friends afterwards and recommend you. So I always think it's important to have them feel like you're doing more than just mailing it in and going, I got this. Don't worry. I got this. I just want that communication. So there's no questions afterwards. Yeah, we didn't really get where you went with dinner. What do you mean? We talked about dinner and we agreed on 50s love songs and you love this, you love that. I I think there's always an opportunity to make them feel special musically. And then when dancing starts, like tonight, they're like, we don't want these five things. And I had to dial back on all five. I'm like, okay, you just mentioned the five most requested songs I get at every wedding. How do you want me to handle that? Because if I tell them, no, I don't have it, they're going to come to you. So, and then they dialed back. They're like, oh, well, actually, yeah, if people request these songs, I'm like, perfect. There's the happy medium.
Mhm.
And when you play Cha Cha Slide or Cupid Shuffle and the dance floor is full, they're not going to get mad that I played it.
Well, I had a similar, I had a bride that said that I don't want any don't want cha-cha slide, I don't want the Macarena, blah 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 blah. And then the first song on her request was Cameo Candy. Yeah, and uh, yeah, I, it was a very white, city wedding, shall we say? English people, And I'm like, this seems to be a popular request. And I'm like, so does like everybody know the dance routine? Because it's a dance routine song. It's like if nobody knows how to dance to Wigfield Saturday Night or Cha Cha Slide, nobody's going to dance to it. It's like if you don't know how to dance the routine, people won't dance to those songs because that's what those songs are like. So I said, like, does anybody know the song? Well, I think so, yeah. And I'm like, I played it. Nobody danced to it because nobody knew how to dance to it. But then somebody asked for Cha Cha Slide, and I was like, yeah, I can't play that because, like, but you played that dance routine song. I'm like, okay. So in that case, I speak to the couple and I say, look, these no plays, are they definitely no plays? Like, do not play, at all. Or if somebody requests it, and find out.
Alec, I just do that. I always say by request. I said, how about we do this? Your no songs, unless they bother you, like a loved one passed away, and every time you hear Cha Cha Slide, it reminds you of them. That's a no. But if it's a matter of you think it's not a cool song because you've heard it at 20 weddings I've done, there's a reason. The dance floor was full at every one of them. Tonight, the best example is the groom goes, under no songs. He's like, no Taylor Swift. I'm like, okay. She's like, would you normally play that? I said, I would play Shake It Off. Oh, I don't like that song. Okay, then I won't play any Taylor Swift. That's fine. He goes, yeah, and I don't want to hear like No Hands. And I'm like, that's funny you bring that up. I've played that at every single wedding I've done for the last 2 years. And the bride goes, hun, that's on our request list. He goes, it is? She's like, yeah, remember? He's like, oh. I'm like, so sometimes they don't even,
they
get that well together.
It's so hard to figure out what they're actually saying. And typically what I'm hearing when two things. First of all, I do not ask for don't plays. I don't solicit it. If they have them, they give them to me, but I don't solicit it because when I solicit them, I get 8 pages of stuff and it's all the stuff everybody wants to dance to. And I feel like the reason that this is because they want something unique because they've gone to, if they're in their 20s, they've been to a lot of weddings, a lot of friends, family, whatever, in the last few years. And they want something unique to what they've seen over and over and over and over again. And in their minds, they're thinking, hey, if they don't do the Cupid Shuffle, it's going to be different than every other wedding we saw this summer. Because at least they didn't do the Cupid Shuffle,
100%.
So I try to keep that in mind. And there have been weddings where I have held back all the cool stuff and I've made other stuff happen successfully for like the first hour and a half. And then after the first hour and a half, they come up to me and they said, hey, you did a great job. Thank you so much. Like I'm done. I'm not done. I've got 2.5 hours to go. It's like, what do you mean I did a great job? Oh no, you did exactly what we asked you to do. That was fantastic. Basically what they're saying is, okay, now do the cheesy weird stuff we didn't ask for. Because you did what we wanted. You gave us that hour and it was fun. And they'll come right out and say it. They'll come out and they'll be adamant about no line dances. And at 11 o'clock, they'll ask for the Cupid Shuffling. Like, wait a minute. You didn't want any line dances. Like, yeah, but we're drunk now. We want to have some fun. So, who knows?
It's not about the context.
I run into it quite a bit. I just had a wedding a few weeks ago. I had 26 do not play songs. And some of them are very popular songs. And toward the end of the night, her friends kept on bugging her for a lot of these songs. And I told her, I said, to the bride, and like, people are going to bug you for it. And she's like, I don't care. Let them come bug me. I will tell them no. Finally, toward the end of the night, she come walking over to me, and she saw Tracy, and she waved Tracy over, and Tracy was standing next to me. And Tracy's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, what's wrong? Because she wanted both of us. She's like, you guys were right. Go ahead and play those songs because everybody's
my friends have browbeat me into it.
Yeah. And it's like, we're not telling them to go tell her that, but
that's what happens.
We see it every weekend. They don't.
The thing is,
what do you
there's
tell
a reason. Sorry, Eric. There's a reason why these songs are played at every wedding. It's not because the DJs love these songs. It's because that's what people, yes, Sweet Caroline. If I hear that one more time before 2026, I may go slightly insane, but sometimes when I'm out, I'm out with friends, other DJs and things like that. If we're at a bar and we hear certain songs, we just start, oh, it said Sheeran. And one will say, So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the first dance. Oh, it's come on, Eileen. Well, I've got half hour left for the bar to close. Certain songs, and we'll just take the mick, going like, oh, when we're hearing this song, this is what would normally say Ed Sheeran first dance, or Sweet Caroline, right? Everybody on the dance floor, it's the last song of the night. Certain songs like this. So sometimes it's like, there's a reason why these songs are played, because people want to hear them. Yes, they're played at
expect them too.
Many weddings because of that reason.
It's like going to Dairy Queen and getting an ice cream cone. That's not a weird thing to do. That's a normal thing to do. You go to Dairy Queen.
It is weird.
Crave an ice cream cone. You go to a wedding, you crave the Cuban shuffle. It's,
they don't see that they want this great part. Like, I'll say to them, like, what's the goal of the wedding? And they always stymie, like, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, what's your goal? Is your goal that everyone dances, everyone has fun, everyone has a great time, everyone thinks it's the best wedding ever? Oh, absolutely. Okay, then 3/4 of the music you've requested and said no to is a mistake. Oh, it is? I'm like, after dinner, it's for the group. They didn't say no Macarena, you did. They didn't say no line dances, you did. You just need to understand, you need to either let go of part of this and have it be a great party. You're hosting this event. If you hosted a party at your house, you make the food, you do this, you put on some music. If after everyone had dinner, someone said, hey, can you play some Aerosmith? You'd probably play it, wouldn't you? Well, if that's what our guests wanted. I'm like, exactly. You don't know exactly what they want, but they're your family and friends, so you should have an idea. But once it comes to dancing, just let us do our job.
Yeah.
That's why I want them to be happy with dinner music and get what they feel they wanted.
Yeah.
So when the dancing starts and I'm hitting those songs that everyone knows and screams, I mean, it was bizarre to hear a groom go, no, I don't want to hear no hands. And the bride literally goes, hun, that's on our playlist. He's like, it is? She's like, yeah, we went over it last week. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Like, what did you forget? The nose part or the I respected part? So, a bit crazy.
It's those fun compromises that they must make, and we must be in the middle of them. But, well, we've done a show, guys. This is definitely a Monday night. We are time on this. And thank you all for joining us. And Damon, next time, please just let the rest of us talk.
Yeah, maybe give some of us a chance, Damon. We'd appreciate it
very much.
Damon text me what to say. You wouldn't let me in. So
we're brought to you by DJ Event Planner, as always, for better or for worse. Thank you, DJ Event Planner, for being one of our channel sponsors. Have a look at the description of this video on YouTube for links to them and our other sponsors.
All right, that's creepy, buddy, with two hands going stiff like that.
Cut that out.
Good night.
I saw what you did there for better or worse, by the way.